And we're gonna go down to our final two sweeteners. Okay, so this sweetener, it's called Allulose. I don't have the granulated kind because I used it and I'm not gonna be repurchasing it. But I do have, so I bought a combo pack. And this is allulose maple syrup. And this is allulose it came with 2 other bottles of the granulated allulose, which I used, and which I still regret. And so allulose is a sweetener, and it is being distributed by, I think it's Lyle and Tate, I'm not sure, the company that makes Splenda. And if you want to try allulose and see how you respond to it, first and foremost, without having to go and purchase this bag or this product, you can find it. It's sold in Quest bars. The cereal bars, which I actually really like. I really like the Quest cereal bars. And the Quest Hero bars, I'm sure have, they are made with allulose. As a matter of fact, Quest Protein has a page devoted to allulose and how it works and why it's so low calorie. So according to them, and I disagree with all of this, but I'm going to tell you this now, it is similar in taste and texture to sugar. It's made from foods derived from fermented corn, maple syrup, figs, and raisins. Yeah, that's it. Corn, maple syrup, figs, and raisins. When I found out that it was derived from corn, because honestly, I didn't know that, most of it is derived from corn. And that is probably why I had such a violent reaction to it. And I did have a violent reaction to it. Remember I said that you need to take and build a tolerance to certain sugar alcohols. This isn't a sugar alcohol. The FDA actually classifies this as sugar. So, it's sugar. Does it taste like sugar? Kind of. I feel like it has a slight aftertaste. But I think you could get away. I think that if you've been off sugar for a long time, it'll taste like sugar. The texture, I didn't think that it really had that granule texture of sugar, that smooth like sugar sand that you find like on the beaches, that smooth, sugary, sticky. I didn't find that it had that. It was more, I don't know, it was more flaky. I can't really describe it, but I don't think it had the same texture as sugar. You can't break down allulose at all. It really ferments heavily in your intestine, even though they claim that it does not. Tate and Lyle, I think I'll leave the link below to their page. They claim that it doesn't ferment in the large intestine. I say that it does from my personal experience. Again, maybe allulose is made in different ways, and maybe if it's harvested from, maple syrup and figs and raisins, maybe it would affect you differently than the stuff that's harvested from corn, just like xylitol. I'm probably being very unfair to allulose right now, but I absolutely hated it when I tried it. I was doubled over in pain. Typically, when you consume sugar alcohols or sweeteners that don't agree with you, you have a couple of hours of discomfort and then it's gone. Or for me, I have a prebiotic, and I will link below what I take when I'm trying to experiment with different foods and it's giving me gastric trouble. I will take this prebiotic or a probiotic. I can't remember which one it is. But I will take this and it neutralizes all of that acid. This did not help it at all. I was in pain after consuming allulose for 2 days. 2 days. My stomach was tight. It was terrible. It was awful. The first day I had it in coffee. and I experienced mild discomfort, and I didn't even use that much of it. The second time, then I kept having it in a coffee, and the symptoms just like never went away. So I finally decided not to, maybe having it in coffee wasn't the best thing, because coffee is a diuretic and it can, make your bowels move. So I said, maybe I shouldn't be using it in coffee. So I decided to use it in a standard vanilla cupcake recipe. When I'm testing out anything, I use the same recipes. The vanilla cupcake recipe is my control recipe. Not only do I just make it regular, I do not substitute with light butter or applesauce or anything else to cut calories. I make standard cupcakes. And I use the allulose in this. And I did not like the texture of the cupcakes. They came out very like spongy and almost brittle. They didn't have that moistness that you get when you use real sugar. Considering the FDA considers the sugar, I find that a little weird. Maybe it was the fact I really jumped in on the allulose train very quickly. But I tried the Quest bar. I really liked it. It tasted really good. It tasted like it had that cloying taste of sugar. I said, oh my gosh, this allulose must be great. But when I cooked with it, and I will say this, the Quest bars gave me a little bit of queasiness. I chalked that up to it because I was eating it right after a high intensity workout in Orange Theory. But it did give me a little bit of queasiness. So you can't eat like 2 of those. I think that 1 is my limit and I'm good. But I was not happy with the texture or the taste of the cupcakes. I did a cup for cup with sugar, and it was not as sweet. And I don't even like sweet desserts. I like reduced sugar. I don't like cloying sweet desserts. This needed a little bit more sweetness, which is how I know that it isn't as sweet as sugar. It cannot be used cup for cup. So I'm going to go on because I just don't want to rant about allulose, because I have one more sweetener to get to after this. It's listed as sugar by the FDA. It has less than 1 calorie per teaspoon. The syrups actually list differently. The syrups is 2 calories per teaspoon. And this one is 1 3/4 calories per teaspoon. At less than 1 calorie per teaspoon, I basically consider that a 0 calorie sweetener. 90% fewer calories than sugar. I mean, I wouldn't track that. If I put a couple of teaspoons in my coffee, I'm not tracking it. Well, it actually says here that it's 70% as sweet as sugar, so maybe that's true. It shouldn't be. It's not sugar if it's only 70% as sweet. So that's my fault. I should have anticipated that and used a high intensity sweetener like sucralose. It has browning properties. I have spoken with a couple of people who actually really like allulose, and they're using it, and they said that it does not make them sick, or if it does, they were able to build up a nice tolerance to it. And they love the way it the results they get in caramel sauces. It is now, because of Quest is taking on in the low carb community, so you are able to find some research on it. You're able to find some cooking tutorials using it, some recipes. When I experimented with this, I was the only one using it. This was last year. This was, as soon as it popped up on Amazon, I bought these little tiny bottles. It cost me about $70 for 4 little bottles. So I was ahead of the game. Now there's a lot more information about it. I wish I had waited, and maybe I wouldn't have such a negative view of it. Nutrition, which is where I get all of my crazy low carb, low calorie stuff from. They now sell it Sensato. Sensato, that makes the tagatose, they actually make allulose now. It is approximately $11.99 on nutrition for a 1 pound bag of allulose, and they're also selling it on jet.com now. You can pay about $70, which is what I paid for 4 little bottles. You can get a 6-pack of 14 ounces. So it's about $11.47 per ounce or per pack, but it's only 14 ounces. So you're getting a little less than a pound. At nutrition, it's $11.99 for a pound, and on jet.com. If you buy it in bulk, it's $11.47 per pound. So you're losing some. You're losing a little bit, but it probably evens out to be about the same. I would say to get some Quest bars, eat those bars, see how you react to them. If you react fine to them, then get you some allulose, because it's low calorie, it's low carb, it tastes like sugar, so they claim. I don't think so. I think it has a little bit of an aftertaste, but it performs like sugar, it browns like sugar, it won't make you fat. It won't spike your blood sugar. I think that if you can swing it, you should give allulose a go. I probably won't. I don't think I gave it a fair shot. So I think that with my next nutrition order, I will order 1 bag of allulose, and I will test it out. And if it has me in pain for 2 days, I will set it on fire.